Oh, Jia you're online, Jia. I think you told me, I forgot. Sorry. I think you told me last week, I forgot. Okay, so remember we have gone through this already many times. Okay, amount of moles is okay mv over 1000. This is only for an aqueous solution. We know it's an aqueous solution because they will tell us AQ, and we know it's the unit of M because you will see the unit as mole per decimeter cube. Every time you see this mole per decimeter cube, you know they're talking about M. Today's one. Okay, you know they're talking about M. All right. Now, amount of moles is mass over molar mass is anything that is given mass. Okay. Amount of moles is volume over molar volume. It's only the volume of gas. Only the volume of gas. Okay, so this one we have done many times already. Okay, now, do you know what this question is talking about? This question is the isotope question. Okay, I think they stapled it the wrong way. I think they stapled it the wrong way. So, uh, you the first page, this one, right? The one with the table. You just turn it to the next page. Ah, can you see this one? I think I stapled it wrong. Okay. Okay. Do you remember what's isotope? Isotope is same proton number, different nucleon number. Okay. So the isotopes have different percentages. Remember? Okay. Isotope have different percentages. So what happens is they will give you questions like this where they tell you there is two isotopes of copper. Okay. If you don't know the definition for isotopes, please write it down. Okay. Atoms of the same element, one mark, okay, atoms of the same element with the same number of protons, but different number of neutrons. Okay, okay. So this is definition of isotopes. Okay, definition of isotopes. All right. So isotopes can be like carbon 12, carbon 13, carbon 14. The isotopes have different percentages, okay, different percentages of isotopes in the world. So what happens is if they give you percentage of copper, 70% is 63, 30% is 64. How much is the uh oh yes, Jai, you don't have this paper. I forgot. Hold on. I'll send you now. I just realized this is a new paper. Sorry, Jai. What? Okay. So okay. The first one, all right? First one. Okay, so now how do you calculate this? Okay, how do you calculate this? What you did is 63, copper 63 has 70% plus copper 65 has 30%. So we calculate the average. Okay, can you calculate this? Okay, so it is 63.6%. 63.6. So that's the relative mass. So the question says one decimal place. So it's 63.6. So because it's 63.6, when you look at the periodic table, the copper is presented as 64. Get it? Although there's no real copper 64. There's copper 65 and copper 63. So that's why we have something called isotopes. Okay. Can you understand? Yeah. Okay. Can you all try and do question 14? Okay. Try and do question 14. Same concept. Question 14. So this one is 0.5 mole. You guys can answer it. If this one is 0.5 mole and this one is 0.5 mole, okay, how many moles of carbon monoxide should you get? 0.5, because the ratio is 1 to 1 to 1 to 3. Do you know where I get the ratio? The number in front. There's no number means 1. So it's 1 to 1 to 1 to 3. Correct? So if this one is 0.5, how much is this? 0.5 times 3? 1.5. Okay? So moles of CO is 0.5. Volume of CO is, how do you calculate volume of a gas? Okay, amount of moles is volume over molar volume. So volume would be moles multiply volume. So you take moles multiply 24. Molar volume is 24. You get 12. Okay. Now this is 1.5. So the moles of hydrogen is 1.5. So the volume will be 1.5 multiplied 24. How much is that? 36. Get it? Okay, try and do question 15. Same concept. See which formula you need to use. Do you understand this working? Yeah, use 24 goes to cube. Yeah, because 1 mole of gas is 24 decimeter cube. Okay. Okay, this one, right? You finish copy. Oh, okay. All right. This question, they already give you centimeter cube and mole per decimeter cube. So I'm sure you know which formula to use. Amount of moles is mv over 1000. Okay. So formula here is mv over 1000. So you take m of calcium hydroxide here, 0.15, multiplied V 20 over 1,000. Okay? So you get 0.0032. Did you get that? No. 0.003, sorry. Yeah, 0.003. Okay, now look at the equation. The ratio of this to this is 1 to 2, correct? This to this is 1 to 2. So what do you do for nitric acid? Same double or half? Double. So it's 0.006. Okay? So now, amount of moles is mv over 1000. So amount of moles is 0.006. M is what you're looking for. V is given in the question, 25 over 1000. So you get 0.24. So this is in the unit of mole per decimeter cube. Okay? How do you change mole per decimeter cube to gram per decimeter cube? You multiply molar mass. So please find the molar mass of HNO3 and multiply. Molar mass, you look in your periodic table. Hydrogen is 1, nitrogen is 14, oxygen is 16 times 3. So you get 63. So you get 15. Multiply 0.24. 15.12. Do you understand? Whenever it's an MV of 1000 question, you use this formula. Okay, question 16 is empirical formula. Do you remember empirical formula? Yeah, okay, do question 16 now. You take mass over molar mass. You take the percentage as a mass. So you take carbon and hydrogen. You find the amount of moles. You treat the percentage as mass. So you find mass over molar mass of carbon and mass over molar mass of hydrogen, and then you find the ratio. Okay? Okay? Alright. So it goes. So empirical formula is the simplest ratio. Okay. So here is 26.7% of carbon. So you take the percentage over the molar mass. Carbon is 12. And then hydrogen, you take the percentage over the molar mass. After that, you find the ratio. You find the value and then you find the ratio. Oh, sorry. Oxygen. I forgot to calculate oxygen. Okay. So if this plus this is 100% plus this 100%, how much is oxygen? You take 100% minus, sorry, 71.1. Okay. So you find the ratio of all three. Okay. Did you get 2.2, 2.2, 4.44? So what you do is for empirical formula, you divide the smallest number, which is 2.2. You will get a ratio of 1 to 1 to 2. So because it's 1 to 1 to 2, the answer is D, CHO2. We're only going to do one more question. Alright. Can you all please try question 19? Question 19. This one. Okay, remember, look at the unit, what formula to use. So this one is 25 centimeter cube, 2 mole per decimeter cube. Okay, so I'm sure you know what unit formula to use, right? Okay, use the correct formula. You look at this one. The last one, yeah. For the last one, yes. Not for the second one, for the last one. Second one, use ratio. Same ratio, same. Yeah, correct. Because your ratio is 1 to 1. Okay, this one, MV over 1000. Did you get this? 0.05. If this is 0.05, is hydrogen also 0.05? Yes. So if hydrogen is 0.05, what is the volume? So you take ratio is 1 to 1. Do you see any numbers in front? So the ratio is 1 to 1 to 1. That means if this is 1, this is also 1. If this is 0.05, this is also 0.05. Okay. So volume is amount of moles multiply molar volume, 24. So you will get 0.12, is it? Or 1.2. Yeah, 1.2. Okay, do you understand? Okay. Okay, this one, okay, look at question 18. We'll finish this, now I will go to the next chapter. Okay, so for question 18, I want you to follow this sequence. Okay? Step 1, you find the amount of moles of copper carbonate. Okay? You should know which formula to use. Alright? Step 2, you find, using the ratio, find the moles of copper oxide. Okay? Don't use this value, don't use this value. This value is not for you to use. Don't use this value. Step 3, after you got the ratio, you find the mass of copper oxide. And step 4, I will teach you how to do later. Okay? Do step 1, 2, 3 first. Look at your periodic table. Find mass over molar mass. 124. Copper carbonate. CuCO3. CuC. Yeah, correct. CuCO3. Cu is 64. Carbon is 12. Oxygen 16 times 3. You add it together, you get 124. So you get 0.25. Okay. So if this is 0.25, okay, is this also 0.25? Yeah. Okay, so the moles of CO is 0.25. And so the mass is 0.25 multiplied. Cu plus oxygen is 80. So how many grams you get? 20, right? So your percentage yield is like this. I am supposed to get 20 grams, but in the question, I only got 17.5. I'm supposed to get 20 grams. I'm supposed to get this much money, but I'm supposed to get 20 ringgit, but I only got 17 ringgit. So you only paid me 87.5% of what I'm supposed to get. That is called percentage yield. Copper is 64, oxygen is 16. So let's look at the periodic table. Molar mass? Ah, multiply molar mass. Okay? Do you understand? Okay. All right. So, if you're done, can you please take out your exercise books because we're going to do something different. Okay. All right. So today we're going to learn a new chapter. It's called uh for electrolysis. Okay. So, okay. Now, last time we learned ionic compound. Girls, you all learned ionic compound before, right? Okay. Ionic compound, let's do a recap. So it has to be metal and a non-metal, right? So let's say sodium is 281, chlorine is 287. Sodium wants to get rid of that one electron. Chlorine wants to gain one more electron. Okay? So they will do an electron transfer. What's going to happen? Sodium will become sodium ion. Chloride will become chloride ion. What do the two ions do? They combine with electrostatic forces of attraction. They will be attracted by electrostatic forces of attraction and they will form the ionic compound sodium chloride. Do you remember this? We drew before dot and cross diagram. Okay, so 287, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One electron comes from here and it becomes -1. Okay, can okay, so they are combined together. All right, now what happens is in an ionic compound, it's just not one sodium, one chloride. It will go on and on and on in a giant, what is it called? Giant lattice. It will go on and on and on in a giant lattice, go on and on. Do you remember learning this? Yes, okay. On and on and on and on. Ionic compound can conduct electricity only in molten or aqueous. Okay, molten or aqueous. All right, can because only in molten or aqueous they are freely moving. Okay, so ionic compound is how they form this. Electrolysis is literally terbalik. In ionic compound, you start with sodium, react with chlorine, and it becomes sodium chloride. Right? It is the element, right? Element, this is also element, right? And this becomes a compound. So, formation of ionic compound is how the atom element join together become ionic compound. Electrolysis is terbalik. Electrolysis is the compound change back to element. Okay, the compound change back to element. Now, do you think this is easy to do? No. So that's why we need electricity. Can I understand? Okay, please write this down. The definition of electrolysis you must memorize because they will always ask you. Okay, so electrolysis, the definition is the breakdown or decomposition using electricity. Okay, this is a definition, okay? Definition of okay, can understand? Okay, okay. So this one you need to draw a bit, electrolysis you need to draw a bit. So please remember the definition, Okay, so first, this is the symbol for electricity lah. The long one is positive, the short one is negative. Okay, don't draw first because you don't know how big it's going to be. Okay, so you need to draw it a bit bigger if not you're going to place to do things. Okay, then you will have a negative and positive side. Okay, these electrodes are made from graphite. These are called electrodes. And now we learn something, it's made from graphite. Okay, now we put it in something called a crucible. Why can't put in a beaker? Because we're going to heat it up until it melts. If you put it in a beaker, the beaker will break. Crucible is made from ceramic, porcelain. Beaker is made from glass. Okay, so this one is a crucible. So here you put, let's say, sodium chloride. Okay, so sodium chloride is an ionic compound, right? So when it melts, it becomes sodium ion and chloride ion. Okay, so the sodium ion will swim around here, chloride ion will swim around here. Now, I want you to use your common sense. This is positive ion. Will it be attracted to positive or negative? Negative. Okay, and then this one is chloride, is negative. Negative will be attracted to positive. Okay, a negative ion is called an anion. So an anion is attracted to an anode. A positive ion is called a cation. So a cation is attracted to the cathode. So this will be called the cathode. So cathode is the negative terminal, anode is the positive terminal. Can understand? Okay, so at the anode, chloride wants to change back to become chlorine. Okay, you look at this now. Chloride has an extra electron or less electron? Extra. So if you want to become back an atom, you need to throw away electron. Throw away electron will write at the back. Okay? But chlorine cannot exist as Cl. Chlorine must exist as Cl2. So here 2, here 2. So the chloride ion will go there. It will give the electron to the anode and then it will form chlorine gas. Can you understand? Okay? The cathode, which is negative, okay, the cathode, so the sodium ion goes there. It wants to change back, so it will receive one more electron and it will change back to Na. Okay, so here you will have sodium metal sink to the bottom like that. So this is called electrolysis. Okay, can you draw this, please? It's done. What's that? Is that a bug? A bee? Can you just kill it? Just step on it lah. I don't want it to fly. Ion is positive. Cathode is negative. Anode is positive there. I wrote here already. Anode is positive. Anion is negative. You guys done? So, okay. So now, this is half equation. This is called a half equation. So overall, what happens here is I start out with sodium chloride. Using electricity, I break it back down to elements. So this is my overall equation. Okay, can we write this down? All right. Now, you need to memorize all the ions. Everybody in group 1 is positive 1. For example, sodium, potassium, lithium. Everybody in group 2 is positive 2. For example, magnesium, calcium. So you learned before already. In group 3 is positive 3. For example, aluminium. Group 7 is negative 1. For example, chloride, bromide, iodide. Group 6 is negative 2. For example, oxide, sulfide. Group 5 is negative 3. For example, nitride, phosphide. Do you remember this? You should have learned this already. Okay, this is in your ionic compound. Now, certain things always exist as molecules. Fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen. Okay? Can so please make sure you have this list. This list is very important. Okay? Send it to you. Okay, please make sure you have this list. Send it to your group chat so you can photo it. Can you pass to Ian as well? Okay. All right. So I put in your group chat already. You can refer to it. Okay. So now let's do another electrolysis. Okay. This time, let's do PbBr2, molten lead 2 bromide. Okay. Now, this is positive, this is negative. You will have lead ions and bromide ions. Okay, please write the two half equations now. Do it now. Lead ion is the cation. It will go to the cathode. Anion is bromide is the anion. It will go to the anode and will react there. Exactly the same as this. Write down the half equation for anode and cathode. Okay, ready? Finish ready? Yeah. So Pb is where? Pb is at the cathode. Pb plus 2E become Pb, right? Anode Br becomes Br2 plus 2E, balance it 2, right? So the overall equation is PbBr2 becomes Pb plus Br2. Okay, can? Okay, now let's try. Look at your worksheet, the one that I sent you. I gave you. Look at this page. This one, there's two, okay? No, no, this one. Okay, there's two sides. Do the one that says molten. So the one you're learning right now is all molten only. Okay? Okay. So this is what I want you to do. Step one. Okay. What is potassium fluoride? Potassium is K positive 1. Fluoride is F negative 1. So potassium fluoride is KF, right? This is the cation. Cathode, it will go to the cation go to the cathode, anion go to the anode. Write the half equation like just now. Okay? Do you understand what I want you to do? Okay. Do the same thing like just now. Do for all. Alright, do it now. Do you know what I want you to do? Half equation. So for example, potassium, receive electron, become potassium. Then fluoride, same as just now, become fluorine. Okay? Overall, potassium fluoride becomes potassium and fluorine balance equation. Okay? Got it? Yeah? Okay, do the rest. Okay, let me help you a little bit, okay? Zinc, Zn2 plus, aluminium, calcium, tier. Huh? Of course. Chlorine is Cl2. Chloride is an ion. The chloride one. Same one. That's why I taught you twice the same thing twice. You guys done? Okay? Try. Cl minus. Chloride Cl negative. When you want to write an equation, you double it to balance it because Cl must exist as Cl2. So it releases two electrons. That's why I put two here is to balance it. Zn is ZnCl2.
ZnCl2. This also this is the bank.
Z Zn2 plus Cl negative. Don't you remember? You have to take this 2, put here, 1, put here, ZnCl2. Everything forgot already. Okay, Zn2 plus 2e becomes Zn. So this one ZnCl2 becomes Zn plus Cl2. Of course, this is to write an ionic equation. This is a chemical equation. Only the ions are in the ionic equation. Okay, all right. Let's try this. Aluminium receive how many electrons to form Al? Now, oxide is 2 negative. Okay, look here first. In order to form oxygen, it will release 2 electrons. But oxygen exists as O or O2. O2. So, if you want to have 2, here must have 2. So you release 4 electrons. Okay? Okay. If Al is Al3 plus and O is O2 negative, what do you write? Al? 3 becomes Al plus O2. Balance the equation. Here got 3 oxygen, 2 oxygen. You put 3, put 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Okay? Okay, try the last two. Try the last two. You try to do the last two, then we'll end class first before your brain explodes. Just do the last two.
Offline basis. You need yours.
I sent the list to your WhatsApp group and I gave you a list 10 minutes ago. Okay, I wrote it down for you here 10 minutes ago and I sent a list to your WhatsApp group also 10 minutes ago. Okay?
Correct.
Yes. Good. Yeah, right. Okay, come, let's see. Ca is 2 plus. So plus 2e becomes Ca. Right or not?
Yes.
Br negative is exactly the same as just now. So overall is CaBr2 becomes Ca plus Br2. Li plus electron becomes Li. S2 negative becomes S plus 2 electron. Okay? So overall, Li2S becomes 2Li plus S. Okay? All right.